today's world, where cultures are blending and influences are coming at us from every direction, it's easy to lose sight of who we are, especially for people from Asian backgrounds living in the West or in highly westernized environments. This challenge is real and often painful, but knowing who you are and where you come from is essential. It is your identity. Before continuing, please consider subscribing to the channel, as it really helps a small channel like ours go a long way.
We could become a pseudo-Western society. Not a real Western society. If you're a real Western society, that's another matter. But you become a pseudo-Western society, a fake one.
Imagine being raised in a culture that isn't really yours. You may speak their languages, know their culture, and even adopt their lifestyle. However, they will always know that you are not one of them. This is a harsh truth for Asians living in a Western country. There is an unspoken glass ceiling in employment settings, a barrier which is hard to get through. You can be the best, work the hardest, apply yourself in every way possible, but when the time comes to occupy management or head roles, chances are that you will face a closed door. Instead, people see a large number of Asians move into technical or operational roles. Apparently, it is not about the skills one owns, it's about the image one portrays. And in times of economic downturn, things can get uglier. Racial discrimination, often subtle in good times, becomes blatant. Slurs, insults, even physical attacks. It's a grim reminder that fitting in isn't the same as being accepted. But here's the thing, and let me stress this. It's not only about how people see you, but also how you see yourself. I mean, when one exists in a foreign culture and language, there's always that quiet urge to fit in. Accordingly, one begins to exchange his or her culture with that of others in the belief that life will be better. But the question remains, will it be?
The ground undertow of your society. And it is our business to keep that undertow Asian.
Losing touch with your heritage doesn't make you part of the new culture. It just makes you disconnected. Think about it. How can you stand tall and confident if you don't know who you really are? Your cultural identity is sort of a map. It serves to locate you, it strengthens you, and it supports you, which is very important because irrespective of the place you are in, you feel a sense of attachment to where you are from. When you lose that, you're like a ship adrift. You might move forward, but without direction or stability. There is also something powerful about this process of embracing one's own heritage. It doesn't mean that you have to cut off the culture that surrounds you. It's about adding depth to who you are. Knowing where you come from is not a limitation. It is an enhancement.
I'm just a Singaporean. There is no such thing as I'm just an American. You're either a black American or a white American or a Hispanic American or an Asian American. And if you do not accept that, then you are deceiving yourself.
Let's talk about language. It's not just about words, it's about connection. Your language carries the history, values, and stories of your people. It is an umbilical cord to your forefathers that facilitates the ultimate understanding of one's self. Consider bilingualism. It is much more than just speaking in two languages. It's about residing in two worlds. Individuals who learn their mother language with a second language have been known to have a broader perspective and a deeper understanding of both cultures. And let's be real, language wields power. In the current global setup, clinging to your indigenous language may provide opportunities you had never imagined. Take the worldwide influence of China, for example. Learning Mandarin has become more than just a cultural benefit. It has become a marketable tool.
I'm not saying with the language you necessarily get the value system, no. But the chances are it will help.
The Western world is taking over. Ranging from the influence of Hollywood blockbusters to those on TikTok, it's hard not to get lost in the buzz. However, there exists a dilemma. Where there is no clear understanding of your own culture, the consumption of Western languages and media can lead to one's own destruction. It doesn't mean that Western values are wrong. It means that they are not the only values. For instance, Individualism is an essential feature of many Western societies. It underscores the right and freedom of everyone, which could be understood as empowering. Yet, this can also be said to be one-sided, as it diminishes the feeling of belonging and obligation, which is so essential in many Asian societies.
But the Chinese ethical system is a different one. You owe certain obligations to society. Well, between government and people, father and son, brothers and sisters, friends, they are important fundamental relationships.
In Asia, for example, the family value system is vital. It's not simply about feeling love towards the parents and siblings, but rather about respect and support, and the knowledge of one's role in a larger scheme of things. So if Western ideologies are imposed at the expense of these values, then one is losing more than mere customs. One is losing a part of who he is. Here's that difficult to swallow fact. Societies live off their communities. Just look at China's record. Considering the countless invasions, famines and catastrophes over 5,000 years, the Chinese have survived. Why? Because their primary social units, families, extended families, clans, have always held more power than the turmoil around them. In an accelerated, globalized environment, there is a false narrative that we do not require these ancient systems anymore. But the truth is, they are more necessary than before. Families and communities offer care, structure, and a backup that no single government or institution can. And this is not restricted to just sustaining life, it is about living life at its fullest. A strong community fosters a sense of responsibility and purpose. You are a part of something greater than yourself, which helps to provide motivation and direction in your life.
Unless you're careful in bringing up your young so that you don't lose your own bearings, your sense of place in this world, who you are, what you are.
Understanding and appreciating the significance of culture is one thing. Practicing it is another. For most, carrying forward their roots and embracing culture doesn't mean clinging to the past. It means finding ways to bring the principles to life, adding value to your life and those around you. If you have lost track of your mother tongue, it is never too late to reconnect with it. Learn it, employ it, and impart it to the next generation. Language is the first step of the process of comprehending one's culture and in technically passing it on. Then, delve into your culture. Whether it is the celebration of the fiestas, the preparation of their dishes, or the practicing of the arts, those are not just activities. Rather, they are ways of preserving your being. For the last and most important, your principles. In the ever-changing world one is navigating through, one's principles are the set of the directions. These are the very aspects that make all the decisions, the relationships, and the person. This does not only concern individuals, but also it concerns the communities and nations. When a community loses its value of culture, it does not become stable. It seeks to copy other people, but rather becomes a very weak version of itself. Take Singapore for instance. Many cultures coexist there, but the Asian culture cannot be ignored. Preserving this foundation isn't about rejecting modernity, it's about building a future that's rooted in the strengths of the past. For the Asian diaspora, the stakes are even higher. Living in a foreign land, it's easy to feel pressured to conform, but conformity comes at a cost. By holding on to your heritage, you're not just preserving your culture, you're enriching the society you're part of. So what's the takeaway? It's pretty simple. Know yourself, know where you came from, and enjoy your culture. But not only that, take pride in where you come from and who you are. This isn't about picking one over the other, it's about picking both. You are living in the West. Not only are you adopting it, but you are also being an Asian. In fact, that only makes you stronger. There is too much molding which happens in this world. The world needs more originals. By staying connected to your culture, you're not just preserving your identity, you're contributing to a richer, more diverse world. So, what do you think about this? Let us know in the comments section below and make sure to like the video. Thanks for watching.